Hello, so today we are looking at your coffee lab. So as far as labs go, this is the most complicated one we'll do. It's pretty long, it's got a lot of skills. It's pretty heavy into the weekly content for week 9, but it's also got some other concepts which roughly fall under the category of review. I typically don't do lab solutions. It's on day 1. But this is a difficult assignment, so I'm going to do it day 1 for you. So if you need to refer to this video, I'm trying to save you a little trouble. So anyways, you've got the solution, which is a PDF. So we're going to create this. And so there's table of contents. And notice the headings. So if you know about table of contents, you know that those are heading 1s. And... Alright, never mind those comments, I'll clean those up. Anyways, we are going to format that document to look like this, but you're not entirely on your own. I'm going to open this up right here. And this document that I've given you to work with has a bunch of comments. So if I switch to normal view, notice all these comments, which looks really annoying, but this is just a different format. So sometimes I give you a set of instructions. Today I've given you just a bunch of comments. And so you need to be viewing comments. So this is under the review tab, showing all markup. Notice if you did no markup, you'd be like, well, what am I supposed to do? So you want to show all markup, which fits with what we're talking about this week and reviewing documents. So those are comments. You could delete them as you work your way through or not. So I am telling you exactly what you need to do here. And if you follow the order of my comments, I think you're going to end up in the right place. So I'm going to go pretty quick. Some of these things don't matter in terms of order, but I'll just do them in the order. So note the corrections made by Lant. You can see the corrections. That's what these little things indicate over in the margin. So quite simply, this is just a matter of accept all changes for the document. Okay, so that's kind of done. And now you notice all those little weird things went away. So there were some corrections, which some user named Lant made. Spell check. Alright, so this is a little, it's pretty ugly. I think my spell check's going to go a lot better than yours because I went through, like, Beller is going to be wrong for you guys, I would assume. And I just added it to my dictionary. And so whether you add or you ignore the proper nouns, I don't care. But by, fine, I'll change that. It's going to be a lot of changes. You're not going to need to rewrite any sentences. I would say, probably just go change. I think I can just change them all. But at one point, there was a bunch of proper nouns, and there's weird things like unhold. I don't think that's an incorrect word. I think it's just not common. Maybe it's unshelled. So I'll change it. Smuggler, change that. Right, immature. So some of these are just misspelled. A word like robusta, though, I think I also have no clue how to say that word. Probably should change that. Arabicas. Right, again, I don't know how to say these things. Many of these are grammar errors. I'm pretty much just changing everything. And then you pop back up, and now it's checking my comments, and it doesn't like this word lamp. That's an example of something which should be ignored. Right, and point, ignore. I probably should have fixed that. Whatever, I guess you can. Okay. So those are my readability statistics. Yours probably didn't show up. That's because of a particular setting I have in Word. So you don't need to worry about that. Those readability statistics, that's just a setting which I configured. Alright, so I've accepted all the changes. I did a spell check. Yours was going to be a little more complicated because there were a bunch of proper nouns, like names. And there's some countries and such in here. Alright, for the entire document, here we get to the fundamental word properties. So 6-point spacing after and the line spacing to 1.15. So if I want to select everything in my document, I like Control A. A is for all. And so I'm going to go to the page layout tab. I'm going to put this after at 6, and I'm going to change the line spacing on the home tab to 1.15. Okay, there we're getting somewhere. Style subtitles as appropriate. See finished PDF. Okay, so all that means is this part right here, this is a title, and this is a subtitle. Those are the headings. It seems like it was a lot more complicated, but it was not. If you look at the finished PDF, you'll see those things. So now we are on, so I'm just going to footnote. Alright, so there is a footnote, and it's right here. So I'm going to put my cursor at the end of the word works, references tab, insert a footnote. And I'll say browse articles on how coffee works. Okay, done with that. But I'm not. I also want to make that into a link, so a hyperlink to how stuff works, and that's one of the things we talked about this week. So I'm gonna select that footnote. It's kind of interesting. You can format a footnote however you'd like. I'm gonna go insert. Let's go to hyperlinks. And so web page www.howstuffworks.com coffee. Okay, fine. Notice it is now a link, which is pretty cool. See, we're getting a lot of skills into here, which you can see. This is also seems like it's pretty tedious. I'm telling you, most of the heavy lifting is right on this first page. It gets easier, and we're actually closer to being done than you would think. So now we're doing set the styles for the headings as appropriate. So the table of contents indicates the heading level. So how this works, if you refer to the PDF, you'll see what I'm talking about. But all of this purple text, or maroon, or whatever color you want to call that, those are all heading ones. So I'm just going to click on those. I don't have to select the whole heading. I just click on it once, heading 1. This is a paragraph style. That's why it knows what to do, I guess is one way you could say that. Alright, I'm just poking my way through, finding all of the text, which is that maroonish color, and I'm making them all heading 1s. And you can see this is kind of a long video, and that's why I'm making it today. Okay, so done with that. Don't worry about the table of contents until the end. That is my best advice. So now we're going to download the coffee beans image and insert it into the upper left, set the height to 1 inch, and the text wrap to square. So, those are images. They are in Blackboard. I already downloaded them. That's probably what you should have done when you started. Since I've downloaded them, they are pictures, and they are sitting on my desktop. So I want that one. Set the text wrap to square. Set the height to 1 inch, and set the position. It's in the upper right hand corner. You can drag it up there. I'm sure you could use that tool as well. So it doesn't really matter. So add a caption to the image. Figure 1 coffee beans. So captions can be done in 2 places. You can do them under the references tab, like this. So notice I just leave that there, the figure 1 part. You don't want to mess with that, trust me. And what am I writing here? Coffee beans. I've had a very difficult time spelling coffee lately, which is kind of weird. Alright. What is that, a nun? That's a strange character. Interesting. That's a weird one. That's a non-printing character. Okay, done with all those steps. Working my way down. Notice this thing has citations in it already, which is good. So here, so insert a footer on every page with the following format, X of Y. So what I mean is, like, this is going to be page 1 of 1, or 1 of 5, or 1 of 6. And so I'm going to head down to the footer, so I double click in the footer, tab once. Now this is one that people try and make difficult. I've seen people try some complicated things. All you need to do here is go page number, current position, and it's one of these first ones. Right, page X of Y. There you go. And since I want my first page to be... So this is a kind of weird one. I didn't know how to write this instruction. My point was I do not want a page number on the table of contents. And then we're not there yet. So we'll see how this turns out. Notice that it's only on the first page. And that's because I have this checkbox here for different first page. So my issue that I'm not sure actually how it's going to work out is that this is not going to be my first page when I'm done. So we'll see how it goes. But I do have that checkbox checked. So probably if I wanted to make this happen, let's see how this works. I'm really not sure how this is going to work. I probably should go to the second page and do that and make sure that I have that box checked. Because if you have that, this basically separates the rest of your document from the first page. I'm just not sure how this is going to work because my first page is going to be, like, this is going to be the second page pretty soon. And so what I knew when I was writing the instructions that I should put this at the very last, but I thought people might freak out because if you look at the finished document, you can see that it has a footer on it. So we'll see how this turns out. Alright, converting this tab list into a table, so I'm going to select that. Insert, table. Okay. This needs to be merged. And I need another row above. And this is rank. This is country. And this is bags in millions. Alright, auto fit contents. Oh, so I'm going to apply a style to it, like, I don't remember what color it is. That looks fine to me. And auto fit the contents. And one of the interesting things about a table is you can center it like text. There we go. So done with this page. So now I head on down. So this part right here is going to be a 2-column layout, which means I'm going to place my cursor right there before the W. Breaks, continuous section break there above it, and one below it. So notice I've partitioned off this. So my 2-column layout's going to stop here and here. So now it's going to click anywhere in this section of the document. Click on 2 columns, and I know that in a future step I'm going to justify it. Now I'm going to take that other image, I'm going to apply a style to it, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle. So that's going to be an insert. It's going to be pictures. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to apply this style to it. I'm going to set the text wrap to through. Is that what I said? Through. Tight. Sorry. And I'm just going to put it here in the middle somewhere. Alright, so that's that. And so I think this is, if for some of you, this might be the part where you lose this document because you have section breaks, or you should have them. I'm almost done. We're at 12 minutes. It's a long video. I know this. Bulleted list. So we're making a bulleted list of these 2 paragraphs. Not just any bulleted list, I'm making that bulleted list. So here we're doing tab stops. You can see there's 1, 2 tabs. So I'm going to do one somewhere around here, and another one somewhere around here. Now in my hints I say don't go too far, because if you go too far you run out of room. And my second tab stop needs a number 2 leader. Okay, almost done. So now we're going to go down to the last page, which you can have references. So I'm going to insert a page break. There's a shortcut for it, but I'll just do a page break. It's not necessarily a section break. I mean, there's no harm in it, but it's just a page break. And, oh good, these came down with me. That worked out well. So now I'm going to do a bibliography and a table of contents. So I like to give myself a little room here, because sometimes these things have titles, sometimes they don't. Some of the references, let's do a bibliography. There we go, there's my bibliography. Now I'm going to do a table of figures. I'll put my table of figures right. Oh, I forgot to mark this image. I just remember this. So this thing needed to be captioned, which was in my instructions, but I'm trying to finish this fast because it's long. Red and green coffee beans. Okay. Okay, so notice I know I need to insert captions before I even think about doing a table of figures. Alright, so it's time for a table of figures. Place my cursor right here. I'm just going to do a generic, just first one, and I get that. I have 2 things marked. Oh, that is very strange. How did I possibly do that? I have no idea. That was very strange. So I had 3 entries in here because I accidentally put 2 captions on it. If you ever mess your thing up like that, you can select it, right click on it, update field, and there it goes. And so notice you have to put the gosh, I'm having a lot of cursor problems today. Table of figures. You actually have to write the title, which is strange, and you also have to style it as a heading 1 if you want it to show up. Okay, so now we are almost done. A lot of steps. So now I'm saying at the very beginning of your document, and it's now time to do a table of contents. And it's going to be on a page of its own. So if I want a page of its own, there's a button for this, but I realize that means just go to the very beginning of my document and do a page break. And so I like to give myself a little room just to make sure this goes all right. Let's go insert, or sorry, I always think insert, but it's references, table of contents, and we'll just do an automatic one. And there you go. You are now done with your document, and I want to see how that footer worked out. This looks promising, because this page doesn't have a footer, and this one does, so that actually turned out perfectly. It was really strange when I did that footer originally, and you might now see why I was kind of worried about it, because this was the first page, but now this is the first page, but that footer seemed to work. So the key there on the footer, it would probably just be better if you did the footer last, but I didn't want to write that step last because I thought people might think I missed a step. The key is going to be go to the second page, do the appropriate footer, and make sure that that box is checked, which essentially disconnects it from the first page of your document. And so, at this point, you've pretty much got the same thing as that PDF. I'm not really trying to come in here and say, oh, there's an extra paragraph mark here. I mean, if it's fitting on, it fits on the page just fine. And this document is now formatted like the one that I gave you. So, I hope that the comment style instructions works out well. I've never done it before. I usually just give you a separate sheet of instructions, but I thought that this was fitting since we're talking about reviewing documents and comments for the week. If you have any particular questions, concerns, or comments, go ahead and shoot me an email. Good luck.